The city is breathing before it knows it will have to scream. There is a moment just before a story like this begins, where everything still looks ordinary. Gas lamps flicker, streetcars rattle, footsteps echo and disappear. People move through the night, believing it belongs to them. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the true story on our channel, Crime Chronicles US, where America's unsolved mysteries, vanished criminals, and chilling cases come alive. Every story is real, every detail matters, and the truth remains buried in the shadows. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay updated with every mystery. Because when the voice fades, the city wakes up again, and Atlanta, in the spring of 1911, does not yet understand what is already walking among it. Atlanta is growing fast then, too fast for its own comfort. New buildings climb upward, while old fears stay rooted deep in the ground. The streets are crowded with ambition, sweat, and tension. Jim Crow laws press down like a hand on the chest of black citizens, while newspapers reassure white readers that order is being maintained. Everyone is told their place. Everyone is watched. Everyone is afraid of the wrong thing. And in the spaces between streetlights, something else is watching. The first death does not feel like the beginning. It never does. It feels like an exception, a tragedy, a coincidence. A woman found alone, her body discovered in the dark. Violence whispered about, but not fully described. The papers do not scream yet. The city does not change its habits. Doors remain unlocked. Night still feels familiar. But then, another woman is found, and another. They are all black women. Domestic workers, laundresses, cooks, women who walk home late because their labor does not end when the sun goes down. Women whose names are printed smaller than the details of how they died. The killings share patterns, but Atlanta does not want to see patterns yet. It wants comfort. It wants excuses. It wants to believe that violence has a reason that can be understood and contained. Police suggest robberies gone wrong, drunken fights, crimes of passion. Anything but a predator moving deliberately through the city. The bodies tell a different story. Necks crushed, heads split. Sometimes throats cut so deeply it seems personal, as if rage itself had hands. Sometimes silence, as if the killer did not want to be heard, only felt. The attacks happen at night, in alleys, on dark roads, near train tracks, behind homes where people are sleeping just feet away. No one sees him clearly. No one can describe him the same way twice. Atlanta begins to whisper. Women stop walking alone. Mothers wait up at night. Churches hold prayer meetings that stretch until morning. The black community understands something the city refuses to admit. Someone is hunting them, and no one with power is in a hurry to stop it. Police presence increases, but not protection. Officers question black men more aggressively. Arrests spike. Innocent men are dragged in, interrogated, beaten, released without apology. The logic is simple and brutal. The killer must be one of them. The real danger, in the city's eyes, is not the murderer, but the fear he creates. White newspapers coin a name, the Atlanta Ripper. The name sticks because it makes the violence feel distant, almost theatrical, like something imported from London, something foreign. A monster with a title is easier to digest than a neighbor with blood on his hands. Each new murder sharpens the city's nerves. Headlines grow larger. Rewards are posted. Vigilante groups form. Armed white men patrol black neighborhoods, claiming to protect, while spreading terror of their own. Curfews are enforced unofficially. Any black man walking at night risks being attacked, accused, or killed. Still, the murders continue. The Ripper is careful, or lucky, or protected by chaos. He strikes where police are absent. He vanishes into neighborhoods where no one expects justice. He leaves behind bodies that feel like messages no one can read. Some victims are found with their skulls crushed by blunt force. Others appear strangled. One woman's throat is slashed so violently it nearly separates her head. Another is discovered near railroad tracks, her body positioned in a way that suggests the killer wanted her to be found. The city starts to imagine him. Some say he is tall, others say short. Some swear he wears a hat. Others insist he blends in, invisible. A few claim he is white, moving freely where suspicion does not follow. That idea is quickly dismissed by authorities. The fear of that possibility is too dangerous. Instead, the police look inward, then downward. Suspicion turns into accusation. Accusation turns into mob action. One night, the tension snaps. A black man named Sam Hose is accused, not of being the Ripper, but of murder in a separate case. The response is immediate and horrifying. He is lynched publicly, tortured, burned. Thousands watch. Children are lifted onto shoulders to see better. Pieces of his body are taken as souvenirs. The city calls it justice. The Ripper keeps killing. That is when the lie becomes impossible to ignore. Atlanta realizes, slowly and unwillingly, that the spectacle of violence did nothing to stop the real threat. The murderer is still out there, watching, waiting, choosing. Now the fear deepens. Women begin sleeping in groups. Knives are kept under pillows. Some carry hat pins sharpened like weapons. Employers force workers to stay late, then refuse to escort them home. Churches organize night watches. The community adapts because it has to. Police announce arrests. Several men are charged. Newspapers declare relief. Each time, the murders resume. One suspect, a man named George Anderson, confesses under interrogation. His confession is inconsistent, full of errors, likely beaten out of him. He is executed anyway. The killings do not stop. The Ripper does not pause. He does not slow. If anything, he grows bolder. One woman is murdered within sight of her home. Another is attacked so brutally that even seasoned officers are shaken. The violence feels intimate, angry, as if the killer is not just silencing his victims, but punishing them. Rumors begin to circulate that the murderer is known to some of the women, that he speaks to them, that he gains their trust, that he walks beside them before turning on them. This possibility frightens the city more than the idea of a faceless monster, because it suggests he is hiding in plain sight. Atlanta is no longer sleeping. Night brings silence, but not peace. Every sound feels suspicious. Every shadow stretches too long. People listen for footsteps that do not belong to anyone they know. Then, suddenly, the murders stop. Not cleanly, not conclusively. They simply fade. No arrest, no confession, no body that clearly marks the end. The Atlanta Ripper disappears the same way he arrived, leaving behind grief, fear, and unanswered questions. The city exhales, but it does not heal. Officially, the case is closed. Unofficially, it never will be. The police files are thin. The evidence is scattered. The victim stories are incomplete. History moves on, because it always does. But something lingers. Because killers like this do not vanish without reason. Some believe he died. Others believe he was imprisoned for something else. A few believe he moved away, carrying his violence into another city that would eventually give him a different name. And then there is the most unsettling possibility of all. That he was caught, quietly, protected, buried under bureaucracy and prejudice. That the city chose silence over truth, because truth would have demanded accountability it was unwilling to give. Atlanta rebuilds. Streets are renamed. Buildings rise. The past is paved over. But the echoes remain. In the way the city learns to look away. In the way fear was managed instead of solved. In the way justice was promised but never delivered. And in the knowledge that somewhere, in the dark spaces history refuses to illuminate, the full story of the Atlanta Ripper is still waiting to be told. The silence after violence is never empty. It is crowded with things that were never said, never recorded, never allowed to matter. Atlanta moves forward, but the ground beneath it remembers. The streets remember. The people who survived remember. And the dead, especially the dead, are not finished speaking. When the murders stop, the city does not ask why. It tells itself stories instead. It says the killer fled. It says he was punished under another name. It says fear worked, that patrols and pressure forced him into hiding. These explanations are repeated until they sound like truth. But the records do not agree. Police files grow thin where they should grow thick. Reports contradict each other. Evidence disappears. Witness statements are summarized instead of preserved. The names of the women fade first, reduced to numbers, then to footnotes, then to nothing at all. This is not an accident. The Atlanta Ripper case becomes inconvenient. Solving it would require admitting that black lives were treated as expendable, that hysteria replaced investigation, that innocent men were arrested, beaten, executed, while the real killer walked free. So the case is quietly buried, but patterns have a way of resurfacing. Years later, criminologists look back and notice details that were ignored at the time. The consistency of the injuries, the choice of victims, the escalation, the sudden stop. This was not random violence. This was not panic. This was a serial killer operating in a city that refused to believe one could exist within its own social order. Some theories suggest the killer was a laborer, someone familiar with late-night movement, rail lines, back streets, someone strong enough to overpower quickly, quiet enough to vanish. Someone who understood exactly where police would not be looking. Others point toward a more disturbing possibility, that the killer held a position of relative authority. A uniform, a badge, a job that granted access and trust, especially at night. This theory is never proven, but it never fully disappears either. Because too many things line up. Witnesses who claim to see a white man walking calmly away from crime scenes. Reports of officers dismissing concerns too quickly. Arrests that felt like distractions rather than solutions. And then there is the fear itself. The kind of fear that does not spike and fade, but settles into a community and changes how it lives forever. Black women in Atlanta alter their routines for generations. Warnings are passed down quietly. Don't walk alone. Don't trust the dark. Don't assume anyone is safe just because they seem familiar. This is how trauma survives when justice does not. The Atlanta Ripper becomes less of a person and more of a shadow, stretched across time. He is referenced in hushed tones, in academic papers, in speculative documentaries. Always described, never captured. Always present, never named. And that might be the most unsettling part, because naming something gives it limits. The Ripper has none. He exists in the gaps between records, in the choices a city made about whose deaths deserved urgency, in the way violence was redirected towards scapegoats instead of stopped at its source. He exists because a system allowed him to. When modern investigators revisit the case, they are forced to admit something uncomfortable. Even with today's tools, even with modern profiling, the trail is cold beyond recovery. Too much time has passed. Too much was lost. Too much was deliberately erased. The killer won something far more lasting than escape. He won obscurity. And obscurity is a powerful shield. Atlanta today is not the Atlanta of 1911. The streets are brighter. The skyline is taller. History is packaged neatly for tourists and textbooks. But beneath the polish, the city still carries the weight of unresolved violence. Because unsolved crimes do not disappear. They settle. They shape behavior. They inform silence. They teach institutions what they can get away with. The Atlanta Ripper was never officially stopped. He was outlasted. And there is a difference. The women he killed never received justice. Their families never received answers. Their names were not carved into monuments. Their stories were not centered in the narrative of progress. But they mattered. And remembering them is an act of resistance against the silence that protected their killer. The truth is, the most frightening thing about the Atlanta Ripper is not what he did. It is what was allowed to happen afterward. A city chose comfort over truth, order over justice, fear over accountability. And when a society makes those choices, it teaches monsters exactly how to survive. The case remains open not because files say so, but because closure never came. Because unanswered questions do not expire. Because history has a way of circling back, demanding to be confronted. The Atlanta Ripper is not just a murderer from the past. He is a warning that when voices are ignored, violence finds space. That when victims are devalued, predators are empowered. That when justice is selective, evil becomes patient. And somewhere, in the quiet moments between footsteps and streetlights, the city still remembers what it tried to forget. Because stories like this do not end. They wait. So friends, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Crime Chronicles US for more chilling unsolved mysteries from across America. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next story.